Welcome back to another episode of Everything Lubbock. I'm Danielle Salazar here, part of the digital team, and then we have Caitlin joining us as our guest.
I'm back.
And thank you for joining me. Always a great time just to talk
of course.
And Everything Lubbock. Talk about Everything Lubbock.
Hey,
and we have
all about it.
All the students go back to school this week.
20, 30,000 of them? I think it was 23,000 at Lubbock ISD alone.
Yeah, Lubbock ISD.
And look at these little throwbacks.
This was so much fun.
You might see some familiar faces over here. Taking some members of our team from their old back-to-school photos.
And photo.
We forced
Lauren.
everybody. We forced everybody to pose for a new
Terry.
one. Nobody was safe. So
I love it.
My favorite part is the way some of them, you can tell they look exactly the same, like Lauren.
Yes.
I mean, that's Lauren, no doubt.
I love that.
No doubt. Same thing with Ron. Yeah, look at that
hair.
Julia
looks the same.
Ron, that hair.
Oh, little Grace, she looks the same too.
I love it. No, I love it. I always love getting everybody's little young pictures and then trying to guess who it is.
Yeah,
it's especially Terry. Look at her. You can see Terry. I can see her in there.
For sure.
But no, that's so cute. And everybody's been sharing all their new back-to-school pictures on Facebook of all the babies heading back to school this week. So
everyone looks so fun and excited and amazing in their back-to-school outfits.
It's the season.
Proud parents taking pictures. Yeah. You can see some, kids were kind of but some were excited.
That was usually me, but it's okay. We made it through. We graduated. We ended up a productive member of society either way.
Yes.
So
either way, it all worked out.
Yeah, it all worked out.
Next week, I think we have Friendship going back. So just surrounding areas, other districts are all in the returning back to school, going back to class. And we have on our website, we have a whole tab, back to school.
Yes, all the back to school content.
All the good stuff.
All the fun stories.
It's all in there.
There's plenty, but there's been a lot of new things the past year for school districts. I think the cell phone ban was introduced in 2025. Is that correct? For the 2025-2026 school year.
Mm-hmm.
And
they already had updates
and great.
It was a good rating, good announcements.
Mm-hmm. They said that people have been more social in the school. They said that they've just in general seen positive results from, I think, academic growth and progress increase. They saw more social exchanges in general. And of course it's a hard transition to make, I'm sure. Yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot of varying opinions about that. I'm sure I'd have my own varying opinions about that if I was
I'm trying
in
to
school.
think back in school if we how our teachers used to enforce or have no phone rule. I remember some teachers would have pockets.
Yeah,
or,
we had pockets.
They would just have a designated time, hey, for the first half, we're not going to be on our phones, or for the second half, you're free to use phones, or even bringing interactive phone-friendly activities throughout our class.
I mean, they have MacBooks and stuff these days, so I think they're doing okay.
Yeah,
seems like this was actually, I think this was a state-mandated thing. This was legislation that had passed last year, so this wasn't just Lubbock ISD saying no more phones. This was something the state was like, you got to do this, so they complied, and they said it all worked out for the best. So, hey, good for them. Sorry to the kids who aren't happy about that. I would probably be one of you.
Fine,
but
yeah,
good for them. And I mean, hey, welcome back to the school year. Put your phone away. Get to class.
Put that phone down.
Get to class. But no, it's been great. I'm glad I'm no longer having to go back to school.
Deal with that.
Every time I pass by the school supply section, I'm like, thank gosh. My God, that's not my problem anymore. And I don't have any kids, so I don't have to stress about that side of it right now. So
it was my first year to experience back to school. School supplies shopping.
It's gonna get worse.
It's going to get worse, but it was just fun. It was the basics.
It's going to get more expensive.
But yeah, I mean, whenever we went to the checkout, I was like, whoa, wait, this, I wasn't expecting, those little items.
I thought it was supposed to be cheaper
to add up.
So weekend. Now, you barely save $10.
Yeah,
so,
now I'm definitely going to have to do maybe just throughout the summer, kind of get little things here and there.
That's
or just
smart.
maybe, I don't know, but
that's smart.
Definitely feel for all those parents who have multiples or just older kids and, oh goodness, but yeah. And then we had a few of our reporters, go to Lubbock ISD campuses. There's Lauren and Harper. They were able to highlight some fun fine arts programs kicking off for the school year. I'm trying to think throughout LISD, the fine arts that comes to mind that I remembered back in high school was the mariachi band and the ballet folklorico. So I just like how
they do have some pretty unique programs.
How each campus is.
Those are some of the only ones in the state.
Will highlight
those kinds. Yeah,
just different. I like how different campuses, different schools like have a unique program or unique fine arts that makes their campus stand out. So that's always fun.
Well, I'm glad to see Lubbock ISD investing in the kids in all aspects. I come from a pretty small town where it was a lot of just athletics only got the money, so it's nice to see
like limited options.
And
now
it is
just
so incredible here, the amount of opportunities that our youth have in Lubbock, Texas. It really is just mind-blowing as somebody who came from a much smaller place. It's incredible to see this type of investment in our youth.
Yes.
But we do have that full story on our website.
I like the orchestra footage. Yes. Looking back, I wish I would have made myself learn orchestra. I took one semester, and then after that, I was like,
I would have killed for some of these opportunities that these kids just have at their public schools. So
neat, so cool. But yeah, definitely check out all that back to school info. We have all that information on our website, and I'm sure we're gonna push more resources as the school year goes along, and then as we also have the other surrounding area districts kicking off their school dates and going back to school. So I'm excited to see what other announcements like throughout the year that schools will have. And then we also have safety. Safety is the most top priority that we have. LASD police. Topic. There's Brian. He was able to get some updates about potential threats. And my mind is thinking about, I think last year, school year, we had a bomb threat. Mm-hmm. And I was very surprised, very shocked on how fast the LASD police
those kids.
They were on top of everything. There's some footage right there of some drills.
And so I guess what they said, this training that they're showing, they have mandated like 16 hours for every cycle. And Lubbock ISD goes above and beyond that. They do hours and hours, dozens of hours of training for every cycle. And they are very dedicated, to keeping the parents informed. Yes. Last year, like you said, with that bomb threat that we saw, we also saw them sending out constant updates to the media, to the families and stuff. And, that's times like that is where true information really counts. So we're really grateful for our partners over there. And
yes.
I'm glad to see, behind the scenes, especially after what happened in Uvalde a few years ago. This is a tough subject for Texas right now, especially, and I think it's going to be for a long time. But it's glad to see we're taking it seriously, but it's sad that we have to, for sure.
But yeah, definitely check out that full story. I feel like Grace did a good, coverage of providing those explanations and how the Lubbock ISD police are trained for those scenarios to keep our students safe throughout the year. So definitely check that out on our website, our back to school information, that tab. It's pretty thorough, and then you don't want to miss it. Stay connected on our socials, and make sure you check out everythinglubbock.com. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back with more. We're going to go ahead and kick it off with some crime that has unfolded this week. A Lubbock man was federally indicted after a discovery of meth shipped by UPS.
Yeah, so you can't do that, it turns out. And these, like she said, this is a federal indictment, federal charges. And when drugs start crossing state lines, that's usually when the feds like to get involved. So I think it was the Homeland Security. They have a parcel detection unit, where they look at all the stuff going through UPS, and they realized there was some meth in one of these packages coming from San Diego to Lubbock.
Yeah.
So I guess what they did was they switched out the real meth for some decoy meth, and they had an agent go pose as the UPS driver. Yep. So the agent posed as the UPS driver and went to deliver the fake meth. And this individual right here, we've got Johnny Ray Acosta. He's 26. He stepped out, he thanked the man, signed for it, accepted the shipment, and walked away. And that's when the feds made a move on the house. It's not clear right now if he's connected to any bigger cases. As of right now, he's the only defendant in his case. So right now it's just conspiracy to distribute or possession with intent to distribute 500 grams or more of methamphetamine. I think it was over 700 total.
That is just insane.
732 kilograms.
That is just, yeah.
So, yeah, you can't do that. I mean, especially through the mail. That's just one of those things you can't ship. I think they include that on the picture when they say no batteries, fireworks.
There's
also no meth.
Definitely, yeah, that should have been, yeah.
No, you can't do that, so.
And then just what surprised to me is, like, the distance.
Right.
Like, from California to Texas, like. I feel like
it
something
is pretty bold.
Yeah,
it's a bold,
it's definitely
bold
interesting
move right there. But in this day and age, they do have some pretty sophisticated ways of figuring out what you are shipping. So, no funny business with UPS. Yeah. They don't mess around, and neither does the Northern District Court of Texas in Lubbock. Right. So you don't want to face charges there.
But wow, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, that we have that full story on our website, so you can just get the breakdown of how that investigation unfolded. But I'm just still shocked about how just going through that investigation and then, like, thinking about the person receiving a package, like, I feel like he should have been somewhat like suspicious.
I want to know who shipped it, you know. Yeah. Like, he's accepting it, but, like, who are we working with here? So
definitely. So there's more.
Yeah, there's probably some more to that story is what I am gathering.
I bet we will get some updates, or I wonder if we can somehow find the image of the package.
Right, I bet when he takes a guilty plea, they'll include that with in the later factual resume, typically. So,
but yeah,
fun stuff,
fun times, for them. And then we had some updates about the stabbing. So we originally, when the first story broke out that I was able to cover early in the morning, there was a stabbing that happened that caused serious injuries, and then we were later able to find out that this man, Troy Lockley, was arrested for aggravated assault, and this was over a Facebook dispute. Something that was posted over Facebook led to an argument between two men and led Troy Lockley to be, become aggressive and stab the victim.
Goodness.
And this unfolded. So
thankfully, I don't think anybody's passed away in this one, right?
At this point, we have not gotten any updates about
just serious injuries.
But just when we did get that affidavit, they just shared that it was he intentionally stabbed the other person over a Facebook post. So that was
some things aren't worth it.
Definitely. And I bet these responding officers, investigators hear the craziest things, but when we get it written down on paper, it's just kind of like, oh,
yeah, that's real life.
That is what caused this physical altercation to play out into becoming an incident where someone is suffering stabbing wounds. But definitely check that out. I'm sure we will get more updates. Hopefully, if anything, maybe, like you said, since no one's been injured or causing
nobody's been murdered now. So we've got serious injuries. As he goes through the court, we'll probably get some additional updates.
Yeah,
but we did have another gentleman by the name of... Wait a second.
This one is the... Lubbock driver charged with the DWI after a pedestrian died in a crash. And this was Brian Rodriguez. This was, too, a developing one because at first we just got an update that a pedestrian had suffered serious injuries from a crash. And then later, same thing, we got an update that a man was charged after the pedestrian died. So at first it was serious injuries, and then we got an update that the pedestrian did die and that he was arrested. But that was another crash that led to a death. So we have that whole segment of crime, just some different headlines. We also share those posts on our Facebook, on our social media. When we share those, we usually try to give you updates as we find out the information that we have. So definitely stay connected on our Facebooks, on our socials. So as we get those developing updates for the cases, we're able to keep you guys aware and informed. And we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're going to kick it off with some more coverage. Developing story that Grace Gates has been able to cover and provide for us. A petition calling for Texas Tech Chancellor Creighton to be removed is going viral.
So this is stemming from, I don't know if y'all remember, Senate Bill 37. So about 60 classes were modified for the 2026 school year's review, having to do with gender identity and sexual orientation. So that's and we've talked about, like the funeral for freedom of speech and all these other demonstrations that student protesters have been participating in.
Educators, student protesters.
Yes, there's been professors in this. So they expressed concern. This is called Red Raiders Against Censorship. These are the people who started this petition, and they're pretty concerned about some curriculum reviews and memorandums that have gone out to faculty clarifying how race, gender identity, and sexual orientation and sexuality must be taught, and some programs have even been removed about those subjects. Not everybody feels the same way, but the petition has received 1,600 signatures in less than 48 hours, still gaining more. I'm not clear, what that process looks like, how many, signatures do they need, and if they get those signatures, then what's the next step? I haven't really seen this process before, but I know Grace is looking into that for some continuing coverage for sure.
But yeah, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Grace is so good about, just finding those stories, breaking them down. There is a lot of language, legal language, steps, but we'll definitely break that down. But about 60 classes were modified after this year's review, which was mandated by that state bill that Creighton wrote. So the students, it's definitely, I feel like we are able to provide information on how those students are reacting and responding, and we'll keep you guys updated on that as we find more information about what happens, how many signatures they're able to gather, and like she said, what the next steps are, what's going to happen. And then we have a story about off air. This is actually pretty cool. Amy, she was able to share how off air was able to be production. The production is from Lubbock.
Yeah, this was filmed in Slayton, the old radio station out there. So it's really cool. I think the director said he was driving through town one day when he saw it and got the idea. He said he had a complete different idea for the movie initially, and then when he was driving through Slayton and saw the old radio station, he was like, all right, we have to make a pivot. But this is on Amazon Prime Video now, so if you want to watch a movie filmed here in South Plains, go hop on Amazon Prime.
I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm just interested to see how maybe they were able to make this film, and what if it doesn't look like our area, or maybe if they make it look, fancier. I don't know how they, dramatize a radio or,
I think
area
they are heading to Tubi and Apple TV too.
So maybe that'll be,
go take a look.
Maybe this will be the start of like Lubbock can be like a film area. Right. I don't know.
We could be so lucky.
If we could be lucky to be put on the map for something, or other than, what we already have going on. Right. But just a different area, different industry. I mean, that would be pretty cool. I've been seeing people actually on social media sharing like, hey, we're doing a short series. We're in Lubbock.
That's
send
cool.
us your
yeah, I think I've seen stuff like that
reel
too.
Or send us
people asking for extras.
Yes,
and stuff
extra.
Like
so
that.
I'm just like, wow, it's neat to see how people are just so creative, expanding, and it's all happening right here in Lubbock. So I'll definitely have to reach out or message the directors, or see what's going on.
Get your IMDb profile up. Let's go.
Try what's going on out there, but definitely check that out. And now we have a mother's warning. A Lubbock mother, she was able to share her son's story after his death was linked to Kratom. And this is a story I remember from last year, previous coverage. McKenna originally covered this story, and it's just sad seeing how young he was, 19.
Shannon Coulter, her 19-year-old son Nathan, he passed away in July 2022. They said the primary active compound found in the kratom was listed as his cause of death. And I think she said she had found the wrapper for it in his room as well that day, which is, I mean, it's promoted as something that's supposed to be not dangerous. You know, they tell you it's an alternative as for other drugs. It's not weed, it's not cocaine, it's not meth, but it's still not good for you. So what Shannon's trying to do now is she's trying to hope that other parents will have these conversations with their kids and trying to just spread awareness. And she's trying to urge lawmakers to take action into regulating this substance as they do with other substances because, you know, if it's something that can cause a young person to pass away like that, then it shouldn't be that easy for young people to get their hands on, is her main point here. I
feel like she's doing a good job spreading awareness. I mean, she's been so upfront a parent with, she was able to share that information on his autopsy report, and then definitely just sharing education and awareness on how the kratom is being advertised, and then just breaking down how it can be so addictive. And even though it's linked as natural, herbal, as well as other things that may people addictive, may be addictive for people dealing with addiction. So definitely just, I bet we will find out more or updates as maybe the years go, because she's maybe might, you know, get other people involved. So I'm definitely I feel like I will remember this myself, like just dealing with other, you know, young family members or other people who maybe talk about kratom, or definitely be sharing this story with that community. But we'll keep you updated, and we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more. Okay, let's go kick it off. This is pretty a feel-good story. Back in May, Julia was able to discover there's a mother living in poor conditions in the East Lubbock County. And then she was able to discover how her pastor and the son were able to step up and renovate her trailer home.
Yeah, they gave her like a whole brand new home.
Brand new conditions.
It's incredible.
Yes.
It really is. And she went in, I think she moved in on her birthday on August 1st.
Aww,
so
yay.
Talk about the best birthday ever. I know, because, you know, sometimes it really does take a village. And I mean, Lubbock has a pretty good one, if I say so myself. I was
going to say one thing about Lubbock. And two, maybe just, you know, everyone's in different worlds, or, you know, different things going on. And you might not think about someone who's struggling with just trying to keep their home, keep a nice place, safe place to live.
She said a bunch of anonymous people, different organizations, and even like companies like Home Depot pitched in. They got about $3,000 worth of materials. Adult Protective Services stepped in and helped out, donated a bunch of furniture. She's so grateful. She really is. She's so happy. And she was, I mean, just absolutely tearing up looking at her people showing up for her. I mean, that's just wonderful. And we have some beautiful pictures of the home on our website. Really is a touching story, and it's really nice going through and seeing everybody having each other's backs.
I love that. Just now she has a great, nice, safe, livable space to live and call home, and moved on her birthday. And so that was just pretty emotional. Really special. Yeah, special. I'm glad Julia was able to cover that, you know, meaningful things happening across Lubbock, across the South Plains. I just know, like, with any tragedy or anyone going through hard times in Lubbock, I feel like, you know, Lubbock in general tries to usually do a good job of like connecting resources or getting someone connected to try to help their situation get better. And Julia did a really good job covering that. I like that one a lot. But yeah, definitely check that out. We have those new renovated photos on our website. And we got to give official, proper goodbye to Caitlin on our digital team. I don't want to get emotional. I'm going to try to not get emotional, but I've had, you know, wonderful 2 years learning a lot from you. And you were a great, you know, great person to learn from.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate it. And it's been a fun 5 years here at KLBK and KMAC / everythinglubbock.com.
Everythinglubbock.com.
Okay. But thank you all the years of trusting us to tell your stories. And I know I'm leaving the place in good hands with these folks here. So
yes,
thank you guys for everything.
We'll be cheering you on at your new position and your new area. So, but yeah, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much, and it's been fun, I think.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up there, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much again for joining.